Hey everyone, this is Chris, and I'm here to show off the new Legend Precipice starter sets from Force of Will. These just came out on the 18th, and I'm pretty excited to open them up because these are the first ones that have come out since I started playing the game. But you probably don't care too much about that, so why don't we just go ahead and get started. The first thing I want to show off before we do that is the new promo cards that came with this. These are the Sorceress of Heavenly Wind Melfi. I'm pretty excited about these. They're a pretty good card that came out in the Curse of the Frozen Casket set originally. Of course, these have an alt art on them. They were also reprinted in the Legacy Lost set. They're still going for a few bucks online. They give you one of these with every box that you purchase. So, see, I've got 5 of them here, and that's pretty cool. But why don't we move forward, and I can start showing off the rest of the boxes. Alright, so here we go. Why don't we crack this box open? This is, of course, the shelf box for any stores if they're displaying it. This one specifically for the King of the Mountain Light deck, but I do have all 5 in here because the person I get them through just use it as a storage box. So we'll pop it open. You can see I've got all 5 hiding in here. Normally it would just be 1. We've got King of the Mountain, Blood of Dragons, Below the Waves. Make sure we can actually see those there. Elemental Surge, and Children of the Night. So that's what we've got there. These are all 5 of them. These are looking pretty good. Let's see, we'll get these out of the way. We can start with King of the Mountain. So we've got here Tigris Pearlshine, Lord of the Mountain. Here's a deck list. I don't really know the cards in this set all that well, honestly. I read the spoilers, but haven't kept up with it too much. So I'm excited to see what some of these look like. The art looks kind of fun, kind of going a maybe World of Warcraft route with the pandas, I guess. So let's see here and get this one cracked open. I'm kind of a collector myself, so I don't really like to damage the boxes if I can avoid it. It too well, but there we go. Okay. So we've got our cards here, and we've got our playmat. This is really great for beginners. Anyone who hasn't really played the game, doesn't really know TCG too well, they can get a good look at this. And it helps quite a bit with trying to decide how your field should look. So that's kind of nice. Every one of these boxes is going to have one of those. We've got the rule book. This obviously isn't the comprehensive rules, but it does talk about quite a bit of what you need to know. This will definitely get the game started for you. We have quick start rules, it looks like. Yep, this is a new Legends Precipice version of this. It is in some of the old starter decks too, for those of you who picked those up. Kind of walks you through what everything's going to look like. There's a backside here too. Okay, so there's your phases. It's got the whole setup here. I won't bother going through this for every box. That's pretty cool. Alright, so this is what we all actually care about, right? Here is Tigris Pearlshine. Obviously the card backs haven't changed. Those are going to look the same straight through. Kind of a bad TCG if they didn't, wouldn't it be? rip it open like some of the older ones. I guess that would be going way back, wouldn't it? Those out of the way. Alright. So here we have Tigris. He's our ruler in this set, of course. He uses water and light gems, which is a new concept that's been added with this set. Make sure the camera's okay here. I think you can all see that. So he's pretty straightforward. He's got his Judgment and his Energize. You get a gem right off the bat, and that gets you started. Looks like you can do it of any attribute. When you flip him, you can banish gems to get different abilities. It's kind of a fun card. It's probably the one I'll spend the most time on. I won't go through it as vigorously with the rest. Let's see. So we have a Diamond, the One-Eyed Treasury Magician. I like that. These pandas are great. The art's really fun. This one gives you some buffs. He's pretty strong. He's gonna play pretty well in the field. I'm not gonna make too many speculations about it. I'm not exactly a deck builder myself, but he's obviously got some power there. Gemblade Onyx. He gets precision. That's not too bad. Let's see what else we have here. Gemblade Ruby. Gains swiftness as long as you control a fire gem. So it's looking like you can have a gem of every attribute. Those are, for those of you who don't know, a little different from Willstone or anything like that. Gems are new to this set, so we'll see how the game goes and supports those in the future. Gemblade Sapphire. So again, gains flying as long as you control a water gem. So they're kind of giving you an opportunity to control every type of gem, kind of play around with them. This deck looks like it's mostly light, which I guess makes sense being the light deck. So this one's going to give you a gem when it enters the field, but it does have some buffs if you have multiple different gems on the field. You can probably get that out pretty early and do some good damage. Another one for gaining a gem. So it looks like this set is going to have some decent support for that. Banish 2 gems to pay this card. Remove target resonator from the game. That's pretty good. That sounds like an exile to me right there. So that's actually pretty strong. You're only paying two Willstones for that, and you're gonna get rid of a resonator, which is saying something. That's pretty cheap, depending on how many gems you can get out, of course. You've got a Jewel Shield. It's quick cast. Target resonator gains O plus 200 until end of turn. Gain a gem of any attribute. Then that resonator gains O plus 100 for each different attribute among all gems you control until end of turn. So really, you can give one up to 700 defense if I'm counting this right. That's not bad for a 1 cost. I'd say that could add up pretty quickly. That's going to be one of your quick swings, probably a finisher of some sort. A Jewel Sword. Target resonator gains 200 until end of turn. Gain a gem of any attribute. So that's pretty similar to the last one, except this is going to work on your attack instead of your defense. White Raven. When this card enters the field, you may banish a gem. If you do, draw a card. Okay, so there's some deck control there. And then it looks like we're coming back to the beginning. So these are going to be your duplicates of what we've already gone through. So let's jump ahead, see if we have any one-offs, or if we've got some new magic stones in this set, which I assume we have. I think we've gone through, yep, we've gone through all of this. Alright, yeah, third. Ah, there we go. The stones, let's see them. I always love the art on the stones. I think that these are some of the coolest things in the game. I love the the Shattered Star, I think it was called, from Echoes of the New World. And was that from Red Dragon? Or Return of the Dragon Emperor, rather? I can't remember off the top of my head, but I think the art on these is so cool. And of course, Vindalf 3 had beautiful art on stones. So these are our light stones. We're from the Treasure Mountain. These are special. So treat this card as a light magic stone, produce light. When it enters the field, you gain a light gem. So that's pretty cool. This is going to be some really good support for those gems. But unfortunately, it's not going to support any other colors, it looks like. So I'd imagine in the next booster set, we're going to get some more of those gems, because I don't think any of these other boxes support them. We'll find out in a second. Oh, wow. I had not seen these at all. Those are awesome. I'm going to use these magic stones in my set, in my decks. That's beautiful. So that's your basic magic stone. Next up, we have the Fire deck. So this is the Blood of Dragons deck. Let's get a focus on that. There we go. Let me get some of these cards out of the way before we move on to the next one here. So let's get this guy cracked open. So, here's our deck list here. Get through each of those in a second. I'm not going to bother going through all the little paperwork again. We know that that's in there. It's all going to be pretty much the same. So, let's see what we've got here. Looks like our first card is our ruler. Kirik Rarik, the Draconic Warrior. Alright, so it's kind of a cool dragon lizard guy there. It says he's a dragonoid. He's got precision. When this card enters the field, put X strength counters on it, where X is 15 minus the number of strength counters on this card. So I guess he kind of enters with 15. Remove 5 strength counters from this card. This card deals 500 damage to target J-Resonator. Okay. You could see where that would be fun. You can do some good damage there, and I assume that's repeatable, so you could just go ahead and do 1500 damage to one if you wanted. Your ruler has Judgment, Energize, and you can put strength counters on the card. You can bump it up to 10 pretty quick. So I'm going to guess that this deck is going to use a lot of strength counters. Got an Apprentice Cook. Put 2 strength counters on your J-Ruler. There you go. Burning Awakening, Quick Cast, not too expensive either. You do have to remove strength counters from your J-Ruler though, so you're going to be doing a balance between how many strength counters are on your ruler, how many you're putting on other cards, how many you're using towards cards. Target J-Resonator gains 1,000 till end of turn, so that'll be a nice little quick damage, quick defense, whatever you need. Again, Dragon Breath, remove some strength counters. Deals X 100 damage to each J-Resonator. So this one could do a lot of damage or not a lot. Depends on how you want to go about it. Also want to point out that it's a Battle Arts card, which is kind of cool. So that's something that hasn't been seen Well, I guess it was in some of the recent sets, but it at least supports that. Dragon of Mount, I assume that's Hell. Dragon of Mount Hell. Card cannot attack unless you remove 2 strength counters from your J Ruler. So he's a 1500, 1500. Not sure that that's going to be better than your Gwybers, but with the rotations coming up, he might last a little longer, so we'll see. Cannot attack unless you remove 2 strength counters, cannot block unless you remove 2 strength counters, but for the cost of 2 fire, it deals 300 damage to a target J Resonator. So this is going to be your removal for small cards. You're going to want to play maybe an all-fire deck with this if you really want to bank on that card. Recover your ruler. That's pretty cool. Doesn't say J Ruler. I'm not sure. I assume that still means J Ruler as well, but I'm not positive on that. Hellflame. It's got quick cast, additional cost, remove X strength counters. Deals X 100 damage to target J Resonator. Hellpig. Well, that's a fun one. He's kind of cute, huh? Banish this card, recover your ruler. So there's some recovery in this. That's kind of an interesting one. When this enters the field, so your Hellosaurus, I like that. When this card enters your field, deals 300 damage to target J Resonator. Curix Partner. Put target Battle Arts chant from your graveyard into your hand. A little recursion there. Okay, you can get your cards back. That's cool. Bloodlust, First Strike, Swiftness. Alright, 700, 300. He's going to die kind of quick. You'll want to buff him, I guess. And then we're back to our Apprentice Cook, so we'll skip through these. 2 of every card in here, which is good. For people who want the full set, they're going to want to buy 2 sets of these starters, I guess. Or maybe I was wrong. Are there 3 of each? I didn't really read the box. What did it say? Let's see. We've got... Oh, actually 4 of pretty much everything. Okay. Alright, well, look at that. I lied, you only need 1. 1 box. Alright, so Dragon Ore. When it enters your field, put 2 strength counters on your J Ruler. So this is the fire version of the card we had earlier. That makes sense. And then our Fire Magic Stones. I really like this art on the basic Magic Stones this set. This is really cool. You can see that it's just foil on the fire in the center. That's really awesome. Around the edges here, it's all not foiled, so it really makes it pop out. It almost gives it a 3D effect. Really cool. Alright, so there is our fire deck. So the third one we've got here is the Below the Waves deck. Let's get the focus back. There we go. Shayla, the Mermaid Princess, is our ruler here. Again, we've got 4 of every card, except the Magic Stones, you've got 6 of the one. So that's our box. Let's see, I have a tape on this one, it looks like. Again, you've got all your little books here. Out of the way. Those. Those to the side. And there is our J Ruler, which is pretty cool looking. I like that. So, the weather is rain. I was looking at these in the spoilers. These are going to be fun. This whole weather thing is definitely new to the game. So I'm a little unclear on the rules for it. I know that there was a rule update to explain how weather works. I believe weather just rains on your side of the field, but there was also an update to make the whole field a single playing area. So we'll need to see what exactly that means. It may just be something that affects your creatures only, or I'm sorry, your resonators only, or your rulers only. So we'll check that out. As a ruler, the weather is rain during your turn. So I guess your J ruler, it's always rain. Your ruler, it's rain during your turn. Search your deck for a card named Weather Change Rain, reveal it, put it in your hand, shuffle your deck. So I'm guessing the Weather Change Rain card is going to give you an opportunity to control that on your opponent's turn or whenever it's necessary to accomplish something. So this one, if the weather's rain, you can draw a card. That's Angelic Voice Mermaid. Aqua Rifle Mermaid. When this card enters your field, rest target resonator. If the weather's rain, return it to its owner hand instead. This art kind of follows the pattern of those stones. I'm loving that. Whoever this artist is needs some credit. Yamamoto Naoki. All right, we've got a Cleansing Rain. Return target resonator to its owner's hand. If the weather's rain, put it on top of its owner's deck instead. That could slow him down. For those of you who have played Magic, that's like a chittering rat right there. Putting it back on top of the deck, that could be frustrating. Giant Sea Jelly gains 200 as long as the weather's rain. So you're really going to want it to be raining, I guess. Pico the Wise Dolphin. This is some Little Mermaid stuff they got going on here. This card gains flying as long as the weather's rain. A flying mermaid. Flying dolphin. He's a dolphin. That's good. Princess Shayla's Attendant. This card gains 200 as long as the weather's rain. Stormbolt. Choose one. If the weather's rain, you may choose up to 3. Draw a card. Prevent all damage that would be dealt by target J Resonator until end of turn. Rest target J Resonator. Now that's just a chant, so it's not a quick cast. You can't do this on your opponent's turn, so it kind of limits the usability of it. But it's still a pretty good card. You can do a lot of things for only 2 cost. The White Whale. 1,000, card can't attack or block unless the weather's rain. Wave Rider Mermaid, another 1,000. So you're getting some of the stronger cards in the fire and light decks, but you're getting some of these buff abilities, some flying, some different little effects here. So this one gains 200 in flying as long as the weather's rain. Or you could rest a target resonator if the weather's rain. I guess not or, it's and. You can do both, really. Weather Change Rain, that's the one that you're pulling with your ruler. The weather is rain until end of turn. Draw a card. Seems like that might be a little useless once you flip to your J ruler, but as a ruler that could be handy. I'd worry that this is kind of a wasted deck slot in a constructed deck, but for starter decks this will be fun. And then we are back to the beginning. Angelic Voice Mermaid, right? Yep. So again, let's get the head here. Got our Shoal Coral Stone. Banish this card. The weather's rain until end of turn. Probably noticing kind of a theme with these. And a Water Magic Stone. Again, you've got that foil right in the middle there. Kind of the really cool art. It's a nice card. And next up, we have our Wind Deck. This is the Elemental Surge deck. There's a list for you. This one is Gil the Gifted Conjurer.
me. We don't want that. Let's see. I always kind of like wind decks. They've got a lot of fast stuff. We got Severing Winds with the last set. A lot of kind of fun stuff here. Oh, why is this stuck? I never do like opening cardboard boxes like this. You end up damaging them no matter what you do. Alright, let's put that up there. Again, you've got all your little books. Same packaging, so that's pretty consistent. I don't really want all this stuff in the way. Alright, so we've got Gil the Gifted Conjurer. He's got Barrier. And remove an elemental in your graveyard from the game. Produce wind. Spend this will only to play Spirit Magic Chance. Play this ability only once per turn. It's awfully specific. That might be okay though. I would place bets there are a few Spirit Magic Chance in here that interact with that. Alright, let's see. We'll take a look at our... So we already saw the J ruler side here. Where is that? There we go. So take a look at just Gil. Judgment and Energize. So Energize is popular again this round. We've got a search your deck for a card named Gentle Breeze Elemental. Reveal it and put it into your hand. Then shuffle your deck. Oh, I almost overlooked this ability. This one's got a lot of text on it. I'm never a huge fan of that, but hasn't ruined the game for me yet, so it's okay. Remove an elemental in your graveyard from the game, produce wind, spend this will only to play Spirit Magic Chance, play this ability only once per turn. Okay, so kind of similar to the other side there, except you've got another way of... Oh no, it's the same one. Okay, so you keep that ability, but you do lose this tap ability here. So that's interesting. Our next card is a Cecil Letalil. Cecil Letalil. I think one of the most fun parts of this set might be pronouncing the names. An Elven Prince. So we pay one less to play this card for each elemental in your graveyard. Elemental resonators you control gain 200, 200. He's pretty strong. 5 cost though, so I guess that makes sense. Elven Guide. When this card enters the field, look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put one from among them in your graveyard, and the rest from the bottom of your deck in any order. Gentle Breeze Elemental. This one's a quick cast. You can draw a card. 1 cost, draw a card. It's probably only really good when you have this interaction for the spirit magics. Otherwise, again, you're just filling a slot when you could do a resonator, or there are a couple other cards you could use that let you draw a card but also give you other abilities. So this one's a little questionable. It's a fine card, but it's a little boring. Guardian of the Portal. Rest another recovered resonator you control. This card gains 100, 100 till end of turn. Leaf Fighter. This reminds me of something out of, like, I don't know, Mega Man, or maybe an anime like a Pokemon or something. All it has on is flavor text. It's a 400, 400, 1 cost. Use your rabbit or whatever. Leaf Magician. This is... It's like someone put googly eyes on everything in their house, and this is what they came up with. When this card's put into a graveyard from the field, draw a card. So, I mean, this one's even a little better than your other card draw, just because at least it's a resonator. You can draw a card. You can force a death on it if you really need to, but at least you'll get a little more out of it. Traveling Trader. When this card enters the field, draw a card, then discard a card. Maybe there's going to be some mill strategy here. Maybe a little when a card goes to your graveyard, there could be some possible mechanics that'll work in with this in the future. A Tree Root Sprite. When this card enters the field, choose one, destroy target non-magic stone, non-J Resonator entity, or search your deck for an elemental and put it into your graveyard, then shuffle your deck. All right, I guess we can see how that plays a little bit. Got Vanish, cancel target spell. So 3 cost, cancel target spell. This is well, that's kind of similar to your Severing Winds, isn't it? That's going to cancel your Resonators, it's going to cancel your Chants and your Quick Casts, and that's going to take care of most things. So that's a good card. That's definitely good. I wouldn't be surprised if that's going for a few bucks online right now. Winds of Vitality. Quick Cast, target J Resonator gains 600, 600 till end of turn. So that's a cool little buff. 1 cost. It's kind of like your, what is it? Beast dashes there with Prisha. I can't think what they're called. And then we are back around to the front. So this deck's not too exciting. It doesn't have any stones. It doesn't have any strength counters. It doesn't have any crazy effects. It's a pretty vanilla deck, I'd say. It's got a couple decent cards, but just nothing crazy. So get through all those. Got a Spirit Stone. Banish this card. Draw a card. Okay, so there's another option for drawing a card. If you've got 4 of these, you're creating some deck control right there. That's kind of interesting to have a stone that does that. And then, of course, we've got our Wind Magic Stones again. I'm going to gush over the art on this. I love this. I'm curious if these will be part of the next set or if they're going to be exclusive to these decks. If they're exclusive to these decks, I could see these being valuable. People are probably going to like these. All right. We have Children of the Night. Kind of reminds me of like Children of the Corn or something. This is, let's see what we have here. We got Rhea, 4th daughter of the Mikaj. For those of you following the lore, that's something some of my friends were pretty excited about, to know that the 4th daughter was being formally introduced. So now we know. Let's pop this open, see what she can do. That one came open nice and easy. Alright, Rhea, 4th daughter of the Mikaj. J Ruler, when this card enters the field, put 3 mystery counters on it. Tap, remove a mystery counter from this card, destroy target Resonator. Alright, that's good. That's going to be blocked by anything that prevents targeting, but outside of that, that's a powerful ability to have just sitting around on your J Ruler. Don't even have to swing with it to get rid of stuff. She's a 12/12 too, which is mostly on par with this set, except for the Panda there. He was only an 8/8, but everything else is, what, 12/10, 10/12, 11/11, so she's the strongest one, but not by a ton. And on the back here, you can put a mystery counter on this card. Also, at the beginning of the game, you put a mystery counter on this card. So she's a little slower than the rest, which I guess is made up for by her strength. But she's a sweet ruler. People are going to want her. We'll see what happens there. Ahriman, Malicious Eye in the Dark. I'm used to these guys from Final Fantasy. Let's see, when this card's put into a graveyard from the field, put a mystery counter on your J ruler. Okay, so we're gonna get some speed ups here. We're gonna get some other ways to buff that ruler. That's good because you don't want to have to tap her every turn just to make her powerful when you finally flip her. Other vampires you control gain 200/200, so it's nice to see some vampires coming back. Alucard was popular with some of the older sets. I don't know if he ever quite made it into the meta. I probably started the game too late to know that, but he's still there. This card's got some controversy because the art, obviously, people aren't too happy about it. A lot of people like the lewdness of this game. I'm a little iffy on it. I think this is over the top, but especially with using such a young-looking character. But to each their own, I suppose. Remove a mystery counter from your J ruler. This card gains 200/200 in precision until end of turn. Play this ability once per turn. Bats from the Dark Castle. This card gains 200/0 for each mystery counter on your J ruler. So that one's going to have no attack unless you've got mystery counters on there. So this could get really strong or it could be really weak. It really depends on when you pull it out. It's a one cost, but you almost can't play it first turn. There's no real point. Well, you could. It's a 200/400 at that point, I suppose, but Dark Knight Butterfly, your opponent discards a card. If this card was awakened, sorry, I lost my place. Your opponent discards 2 cards instead. Remove 2 mystery counters from your J ruler when it's awakened. When this card enters the field, destroy target resonator with total cost 1. I actually think the art on this one is really cool. She's kind of more realistic than most of the characters that they draw. So that's sort of a neat idea. The illustration just says it's by Mad. I don't really know what that means. Here's one of your super rares. Grim, the Pitch Black Vampire. This card enters your field, put target resonator from your graveyard into your hand. J resonators your opponent control gains -X100, -X100 until end of turn, where X is the number of fairy tales you control. So this is some great fairy tale support here. Adding in darkness fairy tale resonators is going to be interesting with some of those. Who was it? Was it Zero that has the really strong light deck? When you add her with her familiars, this could be kind of fun to mix up that meta. Let's see. Moonlight Shadow. This is just a straight 400/400 for 1. So this one's probably a little easier to get out than your 0400 bats, but I guess either one's an option in its own right. Sword of Half Moon. This is a 2-cost chant with Quick Cast. Target J Resonator gains -600, -600 till end of turn. If this card was awakened, put it in its owner's hand as it resolves. To awaken, you remove 2 mystery counters from your J ruler. So it's kind of interesting that they're changing the rules of awakening a little bit here so that you can use your counters from your ruler instead of paying will. They're adding kind of a new currency to the game, and I think that's sort of fun. Sword of the New Moon. Destroy target resonator with total cost 1 or less, or destroy target resonator with total cost 4 or less if this card was awakened. This one's only remove 1 mystery counter, so this is, I'd say, really good for one darkness. That's a pretty strong card. You can go a long way with that. And then we're getting back to the beginning. So let's skip through these and do as I like to do with the last couple. Stone from Dark Castle, that's kind of cool. It's using the same kind of idea with just a little bit of foil on it. When it enters your field, you put a mystery counter on your J ruler, so potentially 4 extra mystery counters if you get lucky draws, and produces darkness. And then we've got our Darkness Magic Stone. Yeah, that's a nice card. As with all the rest, it's got that unique art style. It's got the foiling. So there again is your Darkness deck. So there you have it. That is all 5 of the new starter decks, along with our promo cards. I hope you enjoyed everything here. Thanks for watching. This is Chris, and I hope to see you next time.